think I'm ready to say it.
I think Han Kang is going to be one of my favorite authors. I've been meaning to read one of Han Kang's books for forever now, and then also last year she won the Nobel Prize in Literature. So when I heard that the English translation for We Do Not Part was being released in January, I knew I had to read it. First off, apologies for butchering any upcoming pronunciations of things. I have looked them up and will try to do my best, but I am not Korean, so they will probably be wrong. So first up, some context on this book. This is actually seen as the sister or second part to her previous novel, Human Acts, about the Gwangju Uprising, which was a series of student-led demonstrations that were then violently suppressed by the South Korean military. After having written that book, Han actually describes experiencing these haunting nightmares, which is actually how this book starts. This is a book that on the surface could be described as a story of two women, their friendship, and a journey to pet sit a bird. But in reality, it is so much more. At its core, it's about this massacre in Korean history that was once buried away, and bringing to light the generations of victims and trauma that have resulted from it. And it is so powerful. So this book starts off introducing you to these two women, how they met through work, and how one of them is back at her home island of Jeju, where she is there to take care of her aging mother, who at the start of the book has since passed away. And they've spent some time apart now, but then Kang-ha gets a text out of the blue from In-seon to come immediately because she's been injured and she needs someone to go back to her house to take care of her bird. In short, this book was incredible. Honestly, I expected it to be good, but it blew me away. I loved how this book comes across super mysterious and dreamy, both literally, where there are a lot of mentions of dreams and nightmares, and scenes where reality and the dream world merge, but also with different timelines and stories scattered throughout the book, mirroring the broken and lost history of the victims of the massacre. To me, that gives this book almost a movie-like feel, where you're given these breadcrumbs. For example, before the island's history is actually brought to light, Kang-ha, who is not from there, and obviously so in the way that she speaks, notices these brief interactions with people from Jeju, where they're immediately aware of the fact that she's not from here, and they become cautious and untrusting because of it. All of these moments trigger you to ask questions, wondering why that is the case, to later find out the deep history of the island. And in addition to all that, throughout this book, the writing is beautiful. If you love poetic descriptive writing, you will love this. This is for you. The way she writes is just super visual and super descriptive. And through its description, it's really powerful. It really moves you. I think it's really through the personalization of the massacre and the events. You learn about it through the lens of this family and how it's impacted various family members for their entire lives. And In-seon's mom in particular, that really got me. Her story is one of quiet strength and invisible trauma, and it will make you feel. I also wanted to call out one thing that resonated with me personally, which is how history is lost and misunderstood, even through generations. Like how my parents moved here from China and throughout their lives lived in many different living conditions and situations, a lot of which we don't really address, and I probably couldn't even begin to understand. All of this is to say, I loved this book, I hope more people read this book, and I'm so happy for her being recognized with the Nobel Prize in Literature, which is actually a first for an Asian woman and a Korean, which is insane. I'd also check out her Nobel lecture. Unless you understand Korean, you'll have to read the English transcript. It's really good. I'll link both the lecture and the transcript below. But she essentially walks through her journey as a writer and the deep questions that drove her to write the different books that she did. So obviously for me, this is a 5-star read. I'm absolutely obsessed. It is a little heavy, so you might need to be in the right mood for it. But it's an incredible read, and I can already tell this will be one of my top recs for a while. I will also now be adding all of the rest of her books to my TBR. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.